Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Kiiffin of Street Cred Sports Training. Welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. This is episode 113 with
113. Lee Williams.
I don't know who this is, man.
Hey,
Hey,
what's going on, people?
hey, where are the producers at, man? How he sneak up in here with a jersey on?
Man, look. In all truthfulness, this is the only jersey I own.
Yeah.
I really don't do football jerseys, even when they were really hot. I just never do them. It's something about me is just really didn't like jerseys. I have one jersey, a Kobe jersey, and I had this jersey. Shout out to Ray Mickens, who played for the Browns for I think a year and a half. And so I got this from him. I'm wearing this because obviously I'm a avid 49er fan. That is my team. And so they play the Browns today. So my hope is that the 49ers annihilate them.
Oh, so you doing the whole reverse superstition stuff where you wearing their jersey to jinx them?
No. I don't even do the superstition stuff. Here's my plan. My plan is for ChezdotSantana to do extremely well, but the 49ers to win, and then we go on this trend where Stefanski can go ahead and let go,
right?
And we can get somebody new in there that can really develop players. That's my point. So yeah.
I'll just roll with him, man. I'm gonna roll with you. I'm not getting it, but I got it.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. You ever, and I'm sure you've seen it, because you've had clients that they're good enough to play, they've done everything the coach asks, but it seems like there's always something that they lay in front of this kid to kind of trap this kid or he not make it, and whatever, what have you. I mean, really set the kid up for failure.
Right.
And so I said this many months ago that he was set up for failure. They don't do that. Stefanski's he's a coach of the year, 2-time coach of the year. It doesn't matter,
Well, it does matter because you give them some grace, right? You do give them some grace, but to your point, you are absolutely right. There are things that just seem odd, right? The biggest thing, since we'll start there, the biggest thing that baffles me, and I actually want to know the answer to it. There are a lot of NFL analysts who we prop up and who we, go to, has Shddeur as a first-round pick, right? Top pick at that.
Yeah. He
falls to the 5th round, and then you hear, well, he's a 5th-round draft pick. But my question is he a 5th-round talent, or is he a first-round talent who dropped for whatever, all those little reasons, right? That's the only question I want.
I started being a little bit more attentive to it when you mentioned his tone towards ShddeuR'Santana. I think that was about maybe 4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, and his tone when they asked
his
about
disinterest,
when they asked him questions.
Correct.
Right. Not directly to Shddeur.
No.
But Shddeur is stuck up for him
he did.
over the week.
He did.
So it could, maybe that's just his personality. I don't know him, but yeah, you have, to me, you have to let everybody, because if you was like, hey, no, we're rolling with Shddeur, man. If you talk and you feel like he's belong, all of this other stuff goes away. That's just my opinion.
I say that to say this. They went in the locker room and he was shouting out the punter, did a great job. The defense did a great job. Everybody was expecting Shddeur to get the game ball.
I wasn't.
I was. You in that case, you have two.
Yeah.
But my man, the defensive end, what's his name?
Myles Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Garrett is a problem. I mean, he's a
problem,
MVP. So gave him the ball. Then he said, and so, and then Shddeur, good job. I mean, it was bad. No.
I guess if we could look at it like that, yeah.
I think you need to get the media team, your media team, and have them pull up that footage and play it on this episode.
Right. Well, actually, I think I would do this. I would flip it, and I'd have Kevin Stefanski be Shddeur and have somebody else and have him look at it and say, okay, so that's not you right now. You're Shddeur, right? This is the head coach. I just want you to look and just listen, or close your eyes and just listen to it after what you've done in this game as a rookie, first time. Listen to it and then respond as to how you feel the coach. Not saying that you should have gotten the game ball, it should have been all over. But do you know that your best player in the league had a look on his face when Shddeur threw that touchdown pass?
Yeah.
That should tell you something, right? So I'm not saying you need to be all kisses, but
no, absolutely not.
You should be fair. I've always said it. If you do wrong, let me know I did wrong.
Right.
If I do right, you got to let me know, and that is a problem with coaches. Coaches, period. Not on any level. There are so many coaches that they want to jump on you for making a mistake. But, and I'm not going to say all coaches, but a big problem with in general, but there are a lot of coaches that do this. When you do right, they try to find something negative in what you did right. In their head, they're thinking, well, I want to keep them motivated. Nah, bro, you can say, hey, that was great. Absolutely. I love that. But you got to keep going. That don't sound negative.
No, the thing is, and I try to keep this in mind because sometimes I do it. I'll be dead honest with you, and I just have to remind myself: listen, faults are spoken at a low tone, as low as possible.
Right.
That praise is high.
I like that. I really like that.
That's something that I learned. Well, he reminds me every year. Our head coach that runs our 17U team, Coach Russell Dial, he tells me it all the time. You know what? Hey, you know what? Correct low, praise high.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that. So, well, we started a little bit out of sorts because I need to find out. Say somebody gonna get fired. He coming in wearing a chief, not a chief, but a Browns jersey. But we're gonna let that slide. It's the season of giving.
See how they doing? I wore a jean jacket. They had something to say. Hey. Just all support, man. It's football season.
Mick. All right, so first thing is I wanted to talk about. I wanted to put this out there. Thanksgiving, I'm with the kids. You know what? My wife always said they're not kids because they're in their 20s, but you know they're my kids, right? And we're talking, and they're talking about I'm talking about Gemini AI versus ChatGPT AI and stuff, and you know, the differences and how the Gemini is like really up there. April hates Gemini. She loves ChatGPT because she's used it for so long with the business. It seems like it knows how to give her the information she wants. And then I was laughing like, yeah, man, they gave me, what it was I created a flyer for the webinar, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. And I put it up and I showed April and I said, look what Gemini did. And she looked and she was like, well, I guess you don't need me anymore. And I busted out laughing. And it wasn't Gemini who made it, it was me. Right. So I was messing with it, like all the different stuff that it does, and that I'm trying to find all the new things that I can do with it. Right. And then I was like sitting up on the couch and I watched it again. I was like, you know what? I should record Lee's voice.
No, you did.
And do AI. And then I said, and they were looking at him and I was like, and then what I could do is I could just tell Lee, hey, we're not doing it this weekend. Something came up. And then have the podcast with his voice. I don't know how we would do the avatar. Maybe I'd do it, say, hey, he's from a remote location and have his voice as AI. And then you'll be like, yo, who was that on the podcast, man? I was like, no, that was you. What you mean that was
Facebook? This dude worse than Facebook, man. That's bad, bro.
And it was because you remember the Ja thing with Ja and Clay.
Correct.
And Ja sticks his finger in Clay and Clay pushes. Well, there was another version, and I can't find it, where Ja does the same thing and Clay punches him with a basketball. And then Ja falls, and I'm like, well, I know that didn't happen because I saw what actually happened.
Right.
But it looked real. And then you notice when Ja falls, he has the basketball on his face as he falls. As he falls, the basketball disappears. So you really have to be careful.
Man, AI is something else.
Oh, yes.
It's more. It's more. I don't want to say hindrance. It's dangerous.
Yes,
it's dangerous, man.
Yes.
It's dangerous.
You have to really just pay attention, and that's something that unfortunately there's so many people on my friends list that just be posting and sharing and reposting stuff, and it's like, yo, you could they even did it. They'll post such and such passed away, right? They even posted that my Uncle Joe Green for the Pittsburgh Steelers had passed away. And I'm looking at
wow.
What? Like, I would have gotten a phone call. My brother had to repost it and say, man, this shit ain't funny.
Right.
You can't be doing that.
And
it's a lot of stuff out there that'll be posted and stuff. And it's
irresponsible.
Just irresponsible.
And you're not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? And your uncle's Mean Joe Green?
Look,
get him.
I have an affinity for the Steelers. It's main
affinity.
Hey, you like that word? I just gotta slip that in. But it's more for Uncle Joe. I can, love Uncle Joe and what he did for the Steelers. But I'm not a team person because I see what everybody goes through when their team is man, I don't want to say. Do you know how miserable it is going home when the Saints lose?
People be really depressed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, well, hey, what we having today? Oh, baby, we're gonna do steaks. I'm gonna get steaks and we're gonna get the quarter-inch ribeye steaks. It's gonna be good. I had to check back at about third or fourth quarter when looking at the score, like, hey, what time you want me to go get? Oh no, we just gonna do Roman noodles. She don't do that, all right? She don't do that. We still get the steaks.
But that's how she feel, though.
Yeah. She be feeling. So I don't want to go through that, man. As a quote unquote fan.
I got you.
I just love matchups. I've always loved matchups, watching teams and stuff like that. That's just kind of how I've been because from Dallas, parents, family on one side off, Cowboys fans, the other one Steelers, and I didn't want to get into that.
I got you. That makes sense. I guess.
All right, so we want to start off first. There was a situation. Let me put it on the table. There was Zach Levine that plays at Sacramento Kings.
Right.
It was a game. There was a fan who got upset with the Kings' performance, particularly Zach Levine, and he let him know about it.
He did, yeah.
And then Zach Levine responded with some expletives, and they kicked the fan out. The fan came on, and look, it's one side of the story. Fan said, look, I love Sacramento fan base. He said, but what was bothering me was there were 8 possessions where Zach Levine's man got a wide open 3, and he wasn't even contesting or putting his hand up or getting out there.
Right.
Doug Christie is the coach.
Right.
Calls a timeout. And that's when he let him know. He's like, man, come on, man. Hey, that's like 8 times you ain't getting your hand up. You a $40 million player and you scored only 8 points in the fourth quarter. Man, I didn't pay to see that, you know. Now, if that's exactly what happened, my question was, because we get on fans, about how they talk and, they're not
being knowledgeable.
Yeah, right. They can't, they're paid to watch. They don't have a right to berate and stuff for the players. Number one, do you think that was fair?
I really don't. The problem the fan had with it is he used an expletive and told him to go home.
He told Zach to go home?
No.
Zach
told the fan to go home.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, all right, so go ahead, continue.
So that's really where things blew up because he says, hey, man, I drive 3 hours here and back, and I'm a super fan, I'm a season ticket holder. And in other words, he was really trying to semi-encourage him in a certain way.
I think he was like, hey, come on, man, you got to play hard.
Right.
And from I would say 99% of the fans, even if you lose a lot of games, if you're showing the kind of effort and play,
it's got to be respected.
nobody's gonna fault you for it because a lot of times, okay, like we're undermanned. We don't have the type, but they should because they got two guys that were. That's a whole nother story. Those guys shouldn't be there in Sacramento. It's kind of the wrong system for them. But all right, was the fan right?
The fan was completely right.
Right.
Because as, Jordan and examples of Kobe, like they always wanted to be available and not just be available. You never gonna catch me lacking, as they say.
Right.
I'm playing every possession as hard as I can. And they kind of set the standard for that. And so if you're making that kind of money in this economy, like the least you could do is either say, hey, I can't go, or I'm going all out.
I always wonder, like, how is it in the film sessions? When you're watching that, is he really being called out the way he should be?
These players now can't be called out because they're really hypersensitive and their egos get in the way. Perfect example is Ja. But just in listening to a few podcasts and interviewing some coaches, it depends on your coach and if that coach has pedigree.
Right.
Maybe he doesn't feel that Doug Christie has a pedigree, and it depends on.
You can't.
I don't either. I don't either. But that's how these guys think. If you were a player, what kind of player were you? Secondly, if you were a coach, what have you done?
Right. Right. There was the coach for the Toronto Raptors. I saw something this morning, yesterday, when he was the head coach. I don't know his name. He's from Serbia. He used to coach one of the Serbia teams. When he was at Oklahoma, OKC, when Russ was there, he was like there at first. Kendrick Perkins talked about it.
Okay.
His first film session, he was laying into Russell Westbrook about how Russ wasn't closing out or wasn't doing his job defensively. And Kendrick Perkins was like, man, who is this? Like, who are you to be doing that? But once he listened to him, he was like, yeah, man, you're right. He loved the fact that this coach wasn't afraid to get on that player's butt. And now you're having more of these, coaches coming from overseas, and they have the right mentality.
Right.
I just don't think that it's going to mesh. It's got to be somewhere in the middle.
I've always thought before I really call you out and get on you, I got to build that relationship.
The
relationship piece. If you want to teach anybody anything, build a relationship.
Right.
Very similar to what you do. Kids respond to you because you've put in deposits as far as that relationship.
Right.
I heard Ty Lue was saying, hey man, when I played for the Lakers, like we have a film session. Rick Fox was missing all kind of assignments. He never said anything to Rick Fox. Horry, he always got on Shaq and Kobe. Right. Always.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, man, if he gets on them, what are we supposed to do?
Right.
So it kept everybody in line.
Right.
And I think that's the kind of I think Pop did that with Duncan, Robinson, and all that too.
Right.
So, but as you say, like sometimes squares don't fit in the circles. They just don't,
Now, I'm going to take this because, I was thinking about it. I was listening to what happened with the Levine and the fan.
Right.
And the fan was like, organization. And then you listen to other guys talk about how you had DeMarcus Cousins talking about how great of a fan base it is, but the organization is trash, is what he said.
Yeah.
And it made me think.
Who was saying that? I'm sorry.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
He loved Sacramento, the city, and the fans, but he said the organization is how it's run. It's trash, and it got me to thinking. How about we start holding these owners accountable to where when you own a team, within that first, 5, 8, or 10 years, I'm not saying you got to win a championship.
Right. Just be competitive.
But you should be competitive because the nexus of that whole team, everything is the owner.
Yeah.
He's been there.
Right.
And you had a real good hire with Mike Brown. Nobody still, well, at least I haven't heard anything as to why that really got where it got.
That was
right?
crazy. Nobody knows. At least I don't. I know I don't.
You get them you're the number 2 seed, you lose, right? But they're back in the playoffs. They hadn't been relevant since the Bibby and Weber days. Back in what was it, 01?
Yeah.
2000 and stuff. So you're irrelevant again. You blow it up, and now they're back like where they were. There are so many teams, not so many, but there are teams in the NBA or in pro sports where the owner's been there forever, and the team just never gets, good, and they're never consistent. I think we should start holding these owners like, man, look, in your contract, you got 5 or 6 or 8 years to show some improvement. You better make sure you hire the right person, right? And because they're already firing coaches year to year, GMs crazy. Year to year.
That's crazy.
So why can't you have it where, hey, you know what? It's in your contract now. You ain't here. We selling your team. Maybe it goes over control of the NBA, and then we get somebody in there.
And people may feel that's too much. Fine them.
Fining don't do anything to billionaires.
Look, if you fine them enough.
No.
Because what they're doing is this, Kay. They're just doing enough to make some money.
Yeah.
And they're like the Browns.
Yeah.
When have the Browns ever been relevant?
They were almost when they had Baker and all of that stuff, and then it went. I wouldn't fine them. I tax them in certain ways.
There you go.
That know is gonna hurt them. With draft picks.
I like that.
All kinds of stuff that's responsible for bringing in money and revenue.
Yeah. When you've had number 1 picks and multiple years and first rounders, they got to do that, especially in basketball. They got to say, hey, look, man, can't do it anymore. It's not working. You've had the number 1 pick 3 or 4 times. Top 2 picks, top 5 picks. It's time.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that they should win. Like, okay, Oklahoma City has been relevant. Since KD first got there.
Yeah.
They haven't won. They just won their first one.
Yep.
They got to a second one. Mm-hmm. They almost got to a third one.
Right.
But they have been relevant throughout the years. That organization is run right.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct.
I don't get it. And it's not just them. It's some other ones. But I really think that that's some stuff that
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It boils down to relationships. I know we talked about that last. Relationships are important, especially on that side. Like, okay, if you're a player and the owner knows your kids' names and knows your family's names and, calls your mom for Mother's Day and all those things, you're not going to play hard for that person?
You should be. Now, I mean, I get that, but you should be playing hard because of that check you got. That's just,
for sure.
But see, that's just, and I have to understand, my mentality is not, I can't expect everybody else to have that mentality, but you should at least show effort.
Agreed. So that's all we ask as fans.
Okay, all right. So let me get into this next issue. This is one of the worst things I think in football. There could be more, but off the top of my head, I really hate offsetting penalties in football. So here, let me. I don't want to assume that y'all don't know what I mean when I say offsetting penalties. But there could be someone new that's just tuning in that's not really a football fan. Offsetting penalties, here's what it is. The Browns. I'm the Steelers, okay? Browns on offense. They hike the ball. They're running the play. During this play, they throw a deep pass. My team interferes with it. So it's pass interference, right? On his team, there was a little 5-yard, a holding or something like that, right? Let's just say holding.
Excuse me.
What happens is they offset and you redo the play. I feel strongly that if the defense's penalty ends up being, quote unquote, a 25-yard penalty or a 5-yard, because they'll have illegal contact. Let's go with illegal contact. 5-yard penalty, right? This hold on the offense is worth 10. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't offset. You should you should subtract the 5 from the 10 and give the offense a 5-yard penalty.
You can't. You're gonna lose the fans, man. You know, most people can't add. You know that.
Hey, well, you can put it on the screen. You put everything else on the screen. You can put that on the screen.
You gonna have refs going, man. Look, it does at times seem unfair, depending on the play that was made.
Yes.
And I think that's the issue that he's having with it. A lot of times, I'll be honest, it doesn't happen as often as it used to, because refs are ignoring a lot of stuff that's going on. But I get your point. But from a fan base, you just got to say, okay, you made a mistake. We're gonna do this thing over and go from there.
Like I've seen where there was an interception on the other side of the field, and they call a penalty a legal contact. On the opposite side, had nothing to do, right? Yeah. And then on the offensive side, it was, like I say, a holding or something.
Right.
You shouldn't take this penalty away if the interception was here and this is all the way across the field, had nothing to do with it. Now, I get it. They could say, well, he could have been looking to go there, but because of the interference, he went there and that caused the interception. I get all that. I just hate the offsetting. I just hate it. If
it don't bother me as much. It don't bother me as much.
Because when it's a pass interference,
right,
holding, okay, I get that. Okay, we can watch. But a legal contact, 5-yard penalty, and offensive holding, which is a 10, or a face mask, which is a 15, those can't offset, man. Subtract the 5, carry the 1, and let's move on.
Teacher. It's the teacher. This boy here.
All right, okay, so now
he on one today.
Now that I'm off my rant, let's go into your boy Lane Kiiffin, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, so for those of y'all who don't know, Lane Kiiffin is the QB. I'm not QB. He's the head coach at Ole Miss,
right.
For the NCAA football, NCAA football Southeastern Conference team, conference. Lane has had. Well, I'm not even gonna go what his history is. Okay, so there was an incident where a reporter from the OWN, I call it OWN, one. I don't know why I call it OWN. O-N and it's a 3. One of the reporters was on a podcast and he used lyrics. I believe it was Ludacris when he said, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Right.
And he went all the way down into there. Well, Lane got word of it.
Yeah.
Lane catches old boy outside, walks up to him, and initially, what I read, it said that he told him, who you talking about? You calling a hoe or whatever. We'll see about that. But when you watch the video, Lane walked up and said, "So you the one? Like, yeah, I heard what you said. You want to go in the back and call me a hoe?"
Yeah, he did. He said that.
And then the dude kind of nervously laughed, which kills me. He nervously laughs and like he got him. And I'm like, man, you need your ass whooped. See, if that was my store, Lane could have put hands on him, and he wouldn't have been doing that no more.
Look, like Lane Kiiffin has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
As far as he's matured a lot, as far as
he's funny,
toning it down. But he is one of those guys that's a real dude. Like, he will say anything. He even did that to a player, opposing team. This guy said our offense had nothing. Man, what happened?
Yeah.
And kept interviewing.
Yeah. I like Lane.
I like him because he's a real dude.
Yeah.
He really is, man. And he's gotten a little bit seasoned.
Yeah.
As far as handling himself like that, but like, he's just a coach that really trusts who he is.
Yeah.
Owns it. He knows who he is. He keeps it 100%.
Yeah.
And to me, the reporter looked shook. to me.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting
He
it.
was shook.
And I'm always saying, look, don't say nothing in private that you're not gonna say to that person's face.
I like that.
If you hear me say something about somebody, dog, ain't no Kool-Aid pumping in these veins. If I catch you on the street, I'm gonna say what I said right then, and I'm gonna stand on it.
Right.
You know, now where it goes after that is gonna usually depend on how they do it.
Yeah.
If they react a certain way, then it's on.
But I think at times when you hear something first person, third, fourth, fifth person, it all gets distorted.
Yeah.
You know, but and you got to be careful what you say. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it and the certain words that you use.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't call people. You don't call people that.
No.
The H's and the B's, you leave that alone.
You don't call. Hey, you. I don't know where young man.
Excuse me.
Young man from the OWN. And if I'm mispronouncing the name of your organization, I apologize. I just saw it and I thought OWN, even though there's no W. I don't know why it just spoke to me and said OWN, but it could be one. All right, let's say one. Young man, I don't know you, but where I'm from, when you call somebody that, dog, you gotta watch out.
No doubt.
You might not even get no warning. You could be walking into the grocery store to buy yourself a soda, and all of a sudden somebody walks in and busts you upside your head.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be careful. And Lane ain't that dude. Lane ain't like that. There are a lot of people that are like, boy, I sure wish he called me that.
Yeah. Certain words are triggers, and that's what you have to understand.
Yeah.
Triggers, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's certain.
What they say now, BTA.
Yeah.
Belt to ass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so we are going to pause right now, and then we'll be back.
Dude said belt to ass.
All right, so we're back. I had to make a call to Lane. You know, Lane got a lot of stuff going on, but I had to call him and say, hey, man, you need me to go apply that BTA, let me know, dog.
Hey, he LSU bound. So.
Yeah, well, hey, last I heard, it was a wrap, but then Ole Miss, according to reports, wanted a little more time to match LSU's offer. So if it's about money, but it's like LSU, I think, got deeper pockets.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know,
and it's not just the money he's getting. I think it's the budget as well.
Right, yeah, for his assistants.
Recruiting budget.
Yeah, having all of that. So we'll stay tuned. My man Lane.
NIL money.
Okay, so basketball ideology. Want to talk about a thing that I actually did, and I actually liked it, and I'm going to probably do more. I decided to do, because, you know, like around this time, everybody decides to do camps, you know, and it's free camps or, you know, paid camps and stuff like that. I've gotten, I don't want to say I don't like to do camps. The difficult part with doing camps for me is you have in your head the type of player that you want to come in, that you can work and you know, get some things done.
Right.
And then a lot of times you have parents who are like, you know, they're gonna put their kids in stuff to keep them busy and active, and I get that. But then I would get kids in some of the camps that didn't belong in those
That's
camps,
tough,
even
man.
though they were, you know, beginner camps. Like for me, beginner camps mean that you're beginning to show them the things that they need to know and understand.
Right.
They can dribble some, they understand basketball enough, maybe not a lot, but enough. Then you get people in there that's like, man, what is this? You know, and they want to run around and talk and all of that. So I've kind of shifted away from doing it. So what I did is I call it a pop-up clinic, where I just say, hey, you know what? And what I did is I just posted it. I want to say I posted it like the Thursday before, and it was going to be on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it was a pop-up shooting clinic. And it wasn't just a regular shooting clinic. It was contested shots, and then it was contact, shooting with contact. So the first hour, everything was contested. And it was me doing it. I wasn't having the other kids to contest the shots. But the first one was they were catch and shoot. It was catch and shoot, floaters, step backs, pull-up jump shots. You know, the basic ones. And first part was the contest was me moving out, you know, having my hand up top. Then it was me being on the side of them, on their left side. Then it was me being on the right side, and then sometimes it was, from stepping over them and getting them comfortable, because a lot of players, especially young players, some a little bit older in their high school, they struggle with shooting with hands in the face and defenders being. And what I explained to them is look, you pull up any tape and watch these elite shooters getting shots off. They're hitting them and it's like, oh my God, it's a wide open shot. But when you pause right as the release, the defensive hand is like here. Yeah. So they never get that. And then the second part of the contact was, they're going up and a little nudge on the right hip or their left hip. Sometimes I kind of, not push them, but, a little touch to the midsection. And then I would, hit them on the elbow, the shoulder, offhand and stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Then I had one. And the reason why I decided to do it, I was watching Troy versus USC.
Okay.
And I don't know the kid's name for Troy, but he was driving from left side, driving in for a jump stop floater. And he got contact, bumped, it was a really aggressive defender, and he bumped him in there, and he made the shot, got the and one. And I was like, see, I want to show it. So that's where it came from. And I did executed that same move where they got bumped and stuff. So I think it went good. I wasn't expecting to have like 400 kids. I always have a max for stuff like that. It's usually like maybe 10, possibly 15 kids at the most.
Really?
Because I want everybody to get
reps.
tons of reps.
Gotcha.
And everybody who was in here, were mainly kids that I've, dealt with, trained and stuff, either team, group, or individual. So they were good in it, and they know what to expect.
So what's the protocol if you got more than that? Like
I would have just done another one. I wouldn't have wanted to do, like 20 kids or something, because number one, you don't know who all those kids are, right? And that's the downside of this. But again, it's more about reps. So the days of, and we did a camp at UTEP where we had over 200 kids.
Wow.
It was a free that they asked us to do it. We did that. We've done our regular camps where we had 75 to 80 or 100 kids, right? So we can get large amounts of kids and run the camp the way it's supposed to, but that focus with having them, I had a parent, what was funny was I had a parent who I actually trained, I trained his kids. And they're not there yet, so I've never really worked with them on step back. I started to, but I explained the two types of step backs, the L and then the V, and how you want to do the L and how you want to do the V, and how it needs to be a certain way to get both of them off, right? And during the break, he's like, I didn't even know there was a such thing as, two types of step backs. He's like, and his kids have been on this team, this other City League team for a while. And he's like, he kind of was a little upset that they've never been taught that. But then I explained, look, I don't even know if they know how to explain it, but if those kids aren't there, you're not probably going, to do that.
Right. Well, I think the biggest thing is everyone knows what a step back is, and you can know if they're 20 different step backs, you can know them, but can you explain them and can you teach them in the detail? Right. That's what separates players, from the rest.
Right. And what I try to explain to them, because a lot of times what I say, look, I consider myself, back when I was playing, I considered myself an elite defender simply because I guarded, players that could play, and I was, smart with how I could guard people, right? And I was told that, man, you can't be locking down, right? What I explained to him is if I'm at the top and I'm guarding you, if you make a pump fake or a jab or a sweep and you're gonna attack the basket, but you go that way, I'm no longer thinking defend the basket.
Right.
I'm defending the shot.
Right.
So if you're gonna go with a step back, I tell them if you do a 2 dribble step back, that second bounce when you're driving, that second bounce usually signals he's going for a layup, right? Just instinctively, because most people, 1-2, 1-2 layup,
Absolutely.
right? So when you go with that second bounce, getting ready to go, the defender, most defenders will start to think layup. And as you get to that second bounce is usually when you want to do your step back, because the defender's going to be here and then turning and then stepping up to try to contest. So that little bit of indecisiveness with them not knowing if you're going for a layup or not is usually what gets it open.
Right. And that last dribble was important. If it's like
Right.
a crab dribble, they know you're going to step back.
Right.
I've always explained step back as element of surprise.
Yeah.
Like they can't know when you're going to do
Yes.
it. And so when people I deal with, some kids on our team, we're talking about a step back. I'm like, I can see it a mile away.
Yeah.
You slow down.
Yes.
You get low. Like that's not it.
You're not
you have to.
covering the
You have to sell that you're going to the basket.
Yes.
And then immediately change gears. I mean,
Yes.
and now the game has gotten so easy now. If you just go full speed and stop, you don't even have to step back.
You'll get a pull-up jump
You get a
shot.
pull-up.
Yes.
That's why the pull-up is so effective.
Right.
I was in California this weekend. One of my former players is on staff,
Right.
coaching at Division I, and one of my former players is also playing on that.
Right. That's beautiful. Hold on. I need to apologize because I don't give you your flowers more because it's like you get so used to it. It's just like you're just talking, right? But to have two players, one who used to play for you, played Division I basketball, and now is coaching Division I, and they're coaching a player that you used to have on Division I, that's huge,
Yeah,
man.
It really was a blessing. Like I was at the game filming. I got some video of them actually before the game. Those two are working together, passing and stuff like that. I mean, it was just, man. I was on cloud nine. I'm telling you, because it's just a blessing, and then just to see her growth and the coach, Deja Battle. She's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. She is one of the first actually that I've known is like kind of a mental psychologist, if that makes sense, but from a sports perspective. Like that's real big now.
Yeah.
The mental health piece is important. So she's really on that staff and she's been beneficial already. Mm-hmm. And her, we got a chance to talk about the mid-range because they had a kid, forgot her name, but she was killing the mid-range. And she's like, well, we don't like to shoot them a lot. I like the mid-range. I'm like, so I'm thinking, I said, well, to me, most of your game winners are mid-ranges.
Yeah.
If you say we're only going to shoot threes and layups, I think you become easy to guard.
Yeah, and that's a big problem that I've had with a lot of coaching, because you can say, look, if you practice it and you feel you have a comfortableness with that player shooting it, you need to let them shoot it, because to me, in order to be an effective scorer, you need to be a 3-level scorer. What I mean by that is you need to be able to score from the outside, catch and shoot, or pull up threes. You need to be able to get mid-range and pull up shots.
Sure.
And you need to get to the basket, because if you can do those 3 things, it's hard to defend. Nobody knows what you're gonna do. You're gonna always have the edge.
Yes, sir.
But that isn't the first time I've heard a college coach say
It's rampant.
that, no, we don't want mid-range.
Yeah, like I've been at Division I games and have seen a kid hit a midi and they take him out. That's not what we do here.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and to me, I'm like, you become easy. Well, we drive and we get those options. Well, what if you have somebody that's more athletic and faster than you? What do you do?
And they can cover that ground. Remember Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs. Houston, when Harden was there, that's how they played.
Right.
And when they played San Antonio in the playoffs, they schemed and they took both of those away.
Yeah, and it was done.
And it was done. It was done. And here's what I would, and it's crazy because I say on the next level, meaning college,
Yeah.
this, but it's almost the same. It's the same in all 3 levels. My question would be, how do you recruit a person who has that in their game?
Damn.
Like I had a player, I won't say her name, but she went to a JUCO. She was one of the top 3-point shooters here in the city during that time. She could handle the ball, but that wasn't her strength, right? But she could one dribble, step back, catch and shoot all day. She goes to a school, she's recruited to do this. She goes to the school, she catches, and I watched the film because she was like, I don't understand it. It was a fast break. She gets in, they kick it to her in the corner. She knocks down a 3. He takes her out.
Wow.
Later on, she's back in the game. It was a secondary break. Pass goes here, there, kind of dribble drive, kicks it out to her on the lane. Catch and shoot, knocks it down. Nothing but net, right?
Wow.
What she does, he takes her out. She finally had to talk to him and say, well, what's the thing? His philosophy was, well, we don't shoot with more than 14 seconds left on the shot clock. So I had to get on her because I told her, you should have talked to me before you signed there, because I would have told you that you need to ask what is their philosophy when it pertains to your skill set. I was blown away that this isn't just somebody coming down and jacking up. This was a pass, textbook fast break.
Do you know how hard it is to shoot with the shot clock running down? You know how hard it is to get a shot off, period, in the collegiate game?
Yeah.
I don't care what level, NAIA, D2, D3.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
Very difficult.
It's difficult in practice to get a bucket.
Yes.
And to me, it's a skill set. Someone created that for her. They kick it out and you shoot it. And who's looking at the clock? Am I supposed to look at the clock and it's 14 seconds?
Yeah.
And pull it back out? That's asinine. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, and I wonder. I don't know if this new model came from overseas, because a lot of coaches go overseas and they think they're gonna reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
look, in football, maybe you could come up with things, but here's what it all boils down to. If you got a player that nobody can stop, that's your advantage.
No doubt. Another problem I have is this, very similar to that. You watch a kid play AAU, year and a half, they're getting buckets, midi. I mean, this is what they do. And you say, hey, we want you to do something else. Like, we want you to get those layups. We don't want the mid-range. Don't recruit me.
Yeah.
Don't recruit me.
Yeah.
And they're trying to change them.
Yeah.
You need to work on your 3.
Yeah.
Like, and of course they do.
Now I can see the conversation of, we need you to try to start adding your 3.
No, it wasn't that.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't shoot mid-range here, but we love the way you get in the back.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Now that's
And that's at the highest level.
Yeah. Because I know Kobe White for the Bulls.
Yeah.
They were basically, he was almost on his way out, and
Right.
then he just kept hitting them, and it was like, you got, so like I know what some people will say when I say this, but at the highest level, you're not taking DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, who else? Shea. Mm-hmm. You're not taking these guys just to name 3. Mm-hmm. You're not getting on them for pulling up mid ranges, right? Oh, wow. How many people are them? Yeah, but if that's your point, mid ranges should be obsolete. There should be no reason for a person to shoot at mid range. That sounds like somebody from back in the 30s or 40s or 50s trying to make you dribble, pass. You get a wide open layup, but no, we're gonna keep dribbling the clock and stuff like that.
I mean, and
that wasn't a very good example.
Well, but I got your point. I got your point. The thing is now is the way they're guarding pick and roll, the midi, you can make a living on the midi.
Yeah, because
they're in drop coverage.
They're dropping.
They're in the paint. the free throw is wide open.
Yeah.
Pool.
And that's another thing. You'll see some teams that philosophically, they always drop, right? But you got guys who are shooting 42 to 45% from the mid or from the three, coming over these high screens, and they still dropping. And I'm like, why are y'all dropping on that guy?
Makes no sense.
I can see you dropping on the next guy, but then I'll think, oh, well, maybe he wasn't paying attention. They'll run the same action, get the same shot, and they just there, like watching it.
I'm assuming that they're expecting the defender to lock and trail.
Yeah, and I know.
But it's a foul if he jumps up in the air.
I know when the Lakers played Golden State, they had, what's the kid's name? It's funny because I'm older now, so like everybody's a kid. No, the left-handed defender, long arms, he wears dreads.
For who?
For the Lakers. Gosh, I can't think of it. I'll have to look it up.
Vanderbilt,
yeah.
Okay, Vanderbilt.
When they would have him specifically guarding Steph.
Right, I remember that.
He would come over and lock and trail, and AD would drop. He would be in drop coverage. But Vanderbilt was really good at getting over the screen and staying really attached to Steph.
He was real good at that.
But what they started doing was they were setting, I think Steph would come over this screen, and then I think Draymond would give him another pass, and they would set an additional screen. And it was the screen that was really setting it up, because those other screens, they were kind of standing in here. But they were, when they started getting more aggressive with how they set the screens on Vanderbilt, Steph was getting wide open shots. And they had to call a timeout, and they had to, they had to do it a little bit differently.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're going to adjust if you have, but you had these scouting reports. You shouldn't go under. You shouldn't have drop coverage on Steph ever, right? But yeah, it's.
And how could you mess the scouting report up? That's all you do all day. That's all you do. Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you are 100% right.
That's all you do.
The craziest thing, and we're gonna move on after this, is the more that I've actually learned and gotten into in this business, I've been really surprised, and it's been a lot of eye-opening experiences that I've found out when it relates to stuff like this coaching philosophy in college and in pros, those little things, not letting your players shoot mid-range, is that they're efficient shooting 60 to 70-something% mid-range, right? That's a part of the game, and it opens up other things, but you tell them that's not what we do here. But you recruited them.
Yeah, man, I mean, I have learned so much about people that I used to have them on a pedestal, okay?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's at so-and-so. Okay, or she's here. Man, I'm watching, I'm like, what? Why? So after the game, why y'all do that? Oh, okay. And of course I don't say anything.
Right.
But yeah, like some of this stuff is so elementary. How can I say? It's so, I'm just gonna be honest, like it's so stupid that it just doesn't make sense. How did you get to this level?
Yeah, and look, the thing is there are different layers. So
for sure,
we're never in the coaches meeting. They're thinking about what their players' strengths and weaknesses are, right? So I get that, but when you just watch something,
it's bad, man.
Your eyes, like, I don't have to be on your coaching staff. I've done this enough years in my life to look and see and wonder, like, well, why isn't it that? And I actually had a conversation with a college coach about it. I was like, well, what I'm trying to understand is that. Yeah. Then, because it was about floaters. We don't shoot. And so then I just asked, like, so you mean to tell me if you recruit a player that you like that was shooting floaters, at a high rate, you're going to recruit them and tell them they don't shoot floaters? It's like, oh, well, what the explanation made sense was, well, we don't want people shooting floaters that have never practiced them, right?
Okay.
So then my response to him was, well, don't you think you need to make that known?
Yeah. Or practice them.
Right, because when you say it, it comes across as if what you said, we don't do that here.
Right.
Well, if we don't do that here, it really means nobody's allowed to do it.
That's what it means.
And sometimes some coaches say it, but what they're trying to discourage is they're trying to discourage everybody from doing
Absolutely.
that. And I get that because some people they don't have that in their toolbox.
Right.
At least to be confident and you know when they do it, like, oh yeah, right, like that's a shot.
But on the flip side, this generation, you have to do that too, because they think everybody can do it.
Yeah, and I remember, what was it? I can't think what the NBA coach was saying. The player said, the coach told him, if you can make 8 out of 10, like stationary, we can talk.
Right.
But you got to be able to make 5 to 6 of these shots in our scrimmage practice for I'll be confident enough to know that that's something that you can do.
Absolutely.
That's the other part, and that's the fair part.
That's fair.
But I think you need to make sure that information is given, because when you say it like that, we don't do that here, you're giving me the impression that nobody's allowed to do it. But that's not, it's the communication. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, all right, so we're going to move on to our favorite part.
Let's get it.
You done lost your damn mind.
Let's get it.
This isn't really a quote unquote argument. It's kind of a rant, or it's more of a question. So, NFL versus NCAA coaching.
Okay.
Here's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
In the NFL, towards the end of the season, if a team fires a coach, or if a team's looking at hiring another coach, they might do their job searches. They might start interviewing people around the playoffs time, getting close to the Super Bowl. They might even offer the job in some cases. Mm-hmm. But those coaches don't usually disrupt the current team. Ben Johnson, for example. Everybody, they brother knew. I always say everybody named mama. It's just so funny to say it like that. Everybody named mama knew that Chicago he was going to probably go to Chicago because they had all the pieces in place for what he wanted to do. When he accepted the job, cool, but he still stayed at Detroit to finish the season.
Right.
No problem. NCAA, you trying to hire dudes before playoffs and stuff start, and you trying to give them money, and now these coaches are being kicked off, and these kids are suffering because they don't have, everything in place the way they had to finish out what they started. Why is that?
To me, I just see it as there's certain bylaws and things of that in the NCAA, in NFL that aren't in NCAA. NCAA, you just do whatever you want to do, pretty much. I get it, I understand it, because you have the portal, you got the recruiting, so you got to get somebody in there. If I'm at Auburn, and I know this coach is going to LSU, like I got to know when to get in the portal. So there's a lot of variables that goes into that. I'm like you, there's got to be a certain type of etiquette where we wait, because look, I'm a first round draft pick. My coach is looking at LSU. I'm not going to get 100% of him. Right. I'm just not. Right. So it's going to affect my drafts. It could affect my draft status. Yeah. It could affect a whole lot of things. Yeah. It could affect, heck, I got an NIL bonus if I get so many sacks. Right. Now we running whatever system we want. Like it could affect a whole lot of things. It's the structure. They should look. NCAA always has lost its damn mind, and they've definitely lost their damn mind, allowing it to go for sure, man.
The way they're going.
You sound disgusting, man.
Look, I try, because I know I have younger viewers. I try not to use bad language. It's a shit show every year, and then this is bad because these places want to throw money to get this person to come, and I don't have no problem with that. But you're disrupting the ecosystem of what this is supposed to be about, is playing and competing. Right. You're now throwing egos and stuff into it. And now, if he stays, great, I guess. But if he goes, it's terrible. I just think you can't be allowed to talk. You can't be allowed to leave or do anything until the national championship goes. It's almost like with free agency. You know that they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
But there's no deals done until that free agency hits.
And I think the problem why it gets out now, because they've tried to do that prior, and leaks happen, and then all of a sudden, a reporter goes from being in a podunk town to like the greatest thing ever. So it stopped that.
Yeah, well, you know how you stop that? NCAA say, hey, if anything gets leaked, the deal is done. There is no deal. Leak that shit if you want to. And now you gotta live with that reporter killing your deal.
But then again, it could be somebody on this side
That's
leaking
fine.
it that caused me not
Right.
to go. You
Yeah.
can't do that
Okay.
either.
So we're gonna get to the source. We're gonna get to the source. Somebody's going. Okay, if this side did it intentionally, okay, now we're gonna honor it. But now we're not gonna fine you. Like that. One of the most ridiculous things is fine. Like the rushing the field. They fined the school $100,000 for rushing the field. Right? Nah. You want to get those people off the field? You start hitting them with actual scholarships.
Yeah, you take scholarships.
Yeah, no, okay, rushing the field.
That's
yeah,
five.
we taking 5. We taking 5 scholarships. You can't even get 5 portal players. You guys are gonna be out of it. Watch how much security they have keeping those players out. I hate to say it, but sometimes if you go nuclear on something that you could go with just a little pop gun,
it'll set it.
It'll set it up, and that's what they need to do. You are absolutely right. If one side decides to do it just to get messed up, so maybe we don't do that. But maybe we find out who it is. Now we're gonna hit y'all with 10 scholarships and maybe 8 portal players or something like that, right? You start hitting them where it hurts.
Yeah,
that money, man, them boosters got money.
Yeah.
They got money. But now there ain't no amount of money that's going to be able to, because those coveted players, knowing that they can't go there, they're going to go to the rivals. And other players are going to be like, well, damn, we can't get these type of players, man, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like what happened with SMU.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the death, or
Death
what they call
penalty.
it?
The death penalty.
The death penalty of
Yeah.
SMU. So, yeah,
and they back. They've been playing well.
Yeah,
the last couple of years.
They
Know
had
about this year, though.
They had it. Well, I mean, it's still good. They were, I think, 21. They lost to Cal, so they had a chance to get where they needed to be. But they in those big games, I wasn't as confident about them in those big games.
That's true.
But yeah, I really think something needs to be done. They need to have somebody come in and say, look, we need some structure and order. You look at professional, you don't even have this. I don't even know if you see it as much in the NCAA and basketball. I'm trying to think of the last time something like that happened in basketball, in college sports, where somebody was getting poached during the NCAA tournament. I can't even think if that's ever happened. I'm sure it has, but maybe on a smaller.
Yeah,
but not to the way it happens in college football every year.
Man, football coaches are different than basketball coaches. They're just different.
I
man.
know, but you got to have structure. You have to. If you want to preach and teach structure, order, discipline, all of that stuff, you got to get rid of all of that, because these kids are looking. And the greatest thing I love is the portal.
Yeah.
Because now I see y'all fighting over this, and it, to me, I'm looking at y'all fighting over money, but you gonna tell me that I need to be here, home, family, and everything, and you bouncing? Yeah, I'm out. I get to leave just like you get to leave. Yeah. That's the one thing I love about the portal, because in the past, if that coach left, no, you gotta stay, and if you leave, we're gonna 3-6 fight. Man, don't be taking the divorce out on the kids.
Right. No
Just
doubt.
because you don't like the husband no more, you go punish the kids? No, we ain't having that.
Yeah, I like that.
So, all right, well, we're going to end it there. Hope y'all enjoyed it. This was a tough discussion on different things. Shout out to everybody who pays attention to the podcast. I do want to mention that we're going to be taking a break. I think we're going to do 1 or 2 more, and then we're going to take a break for the duration of not the winter. We'll be back in January. We just ain't had a day. But the other thing is we are looking at trying to do a live thing with games.
Yes, sir.
Where
That's
we're
gonna
going to
be-
be on live. So
That's gonna be
we
crazy.
might even do one this week if I can get the game and stuff out taken care of a situation. We might be able to do one
gonna be
this
crazy.
week. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know what you think about all of this. Let me know. Let us know what you think about him wearing the Browns jersey. Should I find him? I run a tight ship around here. Let me know if I should find my man and how much.
Man, hey, yeah, don't do that.
All right, so we're gonna end it the way we always do. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. We out.
Street cred sports, say it with your chest. Yeah, yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports, okay, that's a bet.